In the pitch-black night along the Ukrainian front, soldiers from the 23rd Mechanized Brigade's drone unit, Clear Eyes, engage in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, but with enough shells and rockets, Ukraine could change the course of the war. While their weapon of choice is a first-person view FPV drone, used to hunt Russian soldiers who dare to venture into the open around Chasiv Yar, a besieged town in eastern Ukraine that straddles the front line since Russian forces captured Bakhmut last year. As dusk settles, intelligence gathered by DJI Mavic drones and reconnaissance drones helps guide the night bombing missions. And these aerial scouts have tracked Russian troop movements, pinpointing their attempts to establish new positions and dig protective trenches. With nightfall, the Russians hide in their dugouts, unaware that shortly, Ukrainian drones will drop bombs on their positions. As the soldiers drive to their position on the front, the driver turns off all the vehicle's lights. Without night vision, he drives in complete darkness. Nothing is visible around us. At a location, and when the time is right, they emerge bathed in the soft red glow of their lights to establish their operational lifeline, a Starlink connection and antenna. Once established, they receive their night's objectives, a list of targets identified by reconnaissance teams. The soldiers begin equipping the FPV drone with night vision, and then attach the first batch of explosives to the drone. One of the soldiers in the dugout takes the drone outside to deploy it. Yevgeny, whose call sign is Bird, dons his immersive goggles and takes control. Meanwhile, we can only stop their assaults and hold our lines with our drones, said Yevgeny with a gentle hum. The drone takes flight, becoming an extension of Yevgeny's will as it races toward Russian positions. The assault is relentless. The drone flies back and forth and attacking with precision, while Volodymyr, known by his call sign Panda, rushes to retrieve the drone once it lands, reloading it with fresh projectiles. The team quickly transitions to attaching bottles of flammable liquid to the drone, and the drone drops a bottle, creating what looks like a flying Molotov cocktail, forcing Russian soldiers from their hideouts. Within an hour, 5 enemy soldiers scatter in panic across Chasiv Yar. Quickly, the team rearms the drone with mini-bombs, while Yevgeny, displaying remarkable skill, pursues the fleeing Russians. With a slight touch on the controller, he releases a bomb, scoring a direct hit. The dugout erupts in cheers of "Yes, yes," as they witness the effectiveness of their operation. One Russian soldier, after being hit, stands up and keeps running for a while longer, prompting the Ukrainian soldiers to comment that he was running on adrenaline like a headless chicken. While the Ukrainian FPV drones continue to fly back and forth, loading more bombs on the FPV drone and hitting more Russian positions. Between drone flights, I asked Yevgeny to share a few words for the American public. "We are trying our best. We cherish and value the help that America is giving us. And we are still holding on," he said. "As morning breaks, it's time for me to leave. A supply van arrives with a fresh stock of bombs, food, and water for the soldiers. The driver, hyper alert, speeds around the corner. Before I can fully board, we're already in reverse, racing away from the front." The demands of war push these soldiers to their limits. Due to personnel shortages, they often remain in position for days without relief. One soldier, known as Joker, holds the unit record. He had 8 consecutive days of FPV drone combat, snatching brief moments of sleep between missions, and he was only 20 years old. His commander, Georgy Volkov, commented that in the last 8 months of his work, the young man was responsible for killing or injuring more than 200 Russian soldiers. For now, Ukraine holds the line in Chasiv Yar largely due to the work of drone units like Clear Eyes, whose efforts prevent relentless Russian assaults from breaking through. yet relying solely on the bravery and ingenuity of its soldiers can sustain the defense only for so long without the raw firepower and weaponry that Ukraine needs from the West. Back at base, Serhiy, the leader of the nighttime drone bombing operations who goes by his call sign Fly, shared his perspective on the uphill battle they face. The Russians have significantly more artillery and effective aviation, he explained. Serhiy said he firmly believes that with enough shells and rockets, Ukraine could change the course of the war. The West only gives us enough supplies and weapons to remain on the defensive, he said, pointing out that their current resources allow them to hold the line but not to push forward. Rising from his chair as if to underscore his point, Serhiy made his message clear. Europe and the US must give us what we need to win. We're protecting them from Russia too, he said. On the other hand, satellite imagery has revealed the extent of the destruction caused by a drone attack on a Russian missile and ammunition facility, which is believed to store rockets capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Drone operators from Ukraine's security service, SBU, Ukraine's main military intelligence directorate, GUR, and Ukraine's Special Operations Forces, SSO, attacked the facility in Toropets, Tver Oblast around 3:30 a.m. Wednesday, according to Ukrainian outlet Suspilne, citing a Kyiv intelligence source. Wednesday's attack could have been the biggest of the war so far, and the blast registered as a small earthquake on monitoring systems. In addition, drone attacks on military facilities in Russia are degrading Putin's long-range missile options, according to Kyiv. Video widely shared on social media showed a huge ball of flame and numerous detonations following the strike on the 107th Main Missile and Artillery Directorate Arsenal, located 240 miles west of Moscow. Without directly claiming responsibility, Ukraine has stepped up its drone strikes on military sites across Russia, which are aimed at choking Moscow's war machine, powering its full-scale invasion. Satellite images taken before and after the attacks show the destruction. Radio Liberty's Schemes project published satellite images from Planet Labs taken at 11:30 a.m. Wednesday, which showed smoke billowing into the sky.
Armata!